Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Today, we're going to have a really fun video where we pair Godseeker Aniri, a new Void Epic champion who is really cool, an amazing and very unique kit and passive, mixed with another champion who you guys know I absolutely love, Scyl the Drakes. She's an oldie, not an oldie anymore, I guess. I was going to say an oldie but goodie, but she's an accessible legendary champion mixed with an unaccessible epic champion in today's video. So first, let's take a quick look at Godseeker Aniri, who I just pulled a couple of videos ago, or yesterday's video. Godseeker Aniri, by the way, later on today, hopefully, we will have an Archmage helmet video coming out as well for you guys as soon as I unlock him. Anyway, let's talk about her kit really quickly first, right? So attacks one enemy, heals the ally with the lowest HP by 5% of their max HP, cannot heal this champion, damage based on defense on this champion, quest for meaning on the A2, an AoE attack, heals all allies 15% of their max HP, then decreases the duration of all buffs on all enemies by 1 turn, increases the duration of all buffs on all allies by 1 turn. You're going to have to build her out with some accuracy if you want to take advantage of the decreased duration of buffs on enemies by 1 turn. In today's video, we're kind of, I don't know, we're kind of riding that fence between not having enough accuracy and having enough accuracy, so it's going to land sometimes, other times it won't. I personally am not going to kill myself on building a lot of accuracy into her kit just for that one ability. That's the only ability in her kit that is predicated on having high enough accuracy to land. Rise of Glory revives a dead ally with 50% HP, then fills their turn meter by 50%, and then resets the cooldowns of all of their skills. Dude, that is pretty sick, and that's on a 4-turn. However, dude, 1,000,000 books to book this champion. I was doing it, I had plenty of epic books, but I'm like, holy crap, man. Like, I felt like I was filling those skill tomes again and again and again and again and again. I'm like, is it ever gonna stop here? I mean, check it out. She even has 3 more levels on the passive. So 3 levels on the passive, 3 levels on the A3. We have 6 levels on the A2 and 7 levels on the A1. A bunch of 5% damage, 5% heals. Golly, man, this is awful. Anyway, great kit. The books, though, ugh. All right, that's really cool on the revive. Guardian Angel, passive effect all the time, increases the amount of healing allies receive by 10%. Active effect, if an ally is about to get killed by a fatal hit, preempts that hit and instantly places a revive on death buff on them for 1 turn before the damage is taken. So she has a passive that is kind of built-in revive in a way, and then she has the actual revive on the A3. So it's tough to kill teammates of Godseeker Aniri, which is really cool. You pair her with another champion like Scyl the Drakes, who has a healing passive. You're getting the 10% heal off of that passive, and you have 2 revivers on the team, and you have the preemptive hit revive on the revive on death. It's very good support having those 2 champions on the same team. It doesn't have to be Scyl the Drakes, who's my favorite, but it can be Vrask, it can be any champion that does a lot of healing. There's tons of them that do a lot of healing in the game. Vogoth is a more recent one. Well, I'm not going to name every healer in the game. You guys get the point. Masteries on this champion. I haven't even done them yet. This is no masteries in today's video. However, we'll pick masteries. I'll be right back. All right, guys, so we ended up going defense and support tree. You can definitely go offense tree and end with War Master if you want to get a little bit extra damage out of Godseeker Aniri. We did put crit rate gauntlets on this champion just to see what kind of damage we can get there, and it's not great, but it's not awful. We're talking about like 15k or so damage on her AoE on the A2, given the gear that we have on her in this video. But I really want to point out, guys, having Retribution is nice, but really Cycle of Revenge is a great skill for this champion. 50% chance of increasing the turn meter, by 15%. 50% chance of increasing the turn meter by 15% when an ally is attacked with a critical hit. Can only happen 1 turn if multiple allies receive critical hits from an AoE. But Cycle of Revenge is a fantastic ability, kind of always boosting up this champion's turn meter. Speed is going to be a very important element for this champion. We had a choice between Timely Intervention for a tier 6 mastery in Bulwark, 5% decreases the damage all allies receive by 5%. This champion will receive that damage instead. I didn't go with that. I instead went with Timely Intervention. Increases this champion's turn meter by 20% whenever an ally hero drops below 25% HP, cycling to more heals and getting ready, cycling abilities, getting ready for those revivals if necessary. So it's all about kind of keeping the abilities moving on this champion. That's why we decided to go there. And Bulwark is an option, but although she has high defense, take a look at her base stats here, guys. She has very low base HP at 15k. 32 total K. I didn't worry so much about getting a ton of extra HP. Instead, I went with defense. Her damage is based off defense. With a 4k defense, you might want to go with more HP if you're using her inside the arena because there's so much savage gear going up and cruel gear to ignore defense. Otherwise, I think for dungeons, this build is absolutely fine. Prioritizing basically all defense and going HP on the substats where you can find it. Other than that, we prioritize speed on this champion. We do have her crit rate, close to 100%. Just to get a little bit of extra damage. It's nice to do if she's dying for you and you can afford to give up a little bit extra damage. Obviously, just go HP percentage on the gauntlets instead of critical rate on the gauntlets. Okay, so accuracy, we pretty much punted here, 137. I don't really care that much about extending. If I was going to use her in Clan Boss, of course, I would care about decreasing the duration of buffs, but really, I'm not that worried about it. Do I want to build a bunch of extra accuracy? Do I want to sacrifice a defense banner on this champion just to go with accuracy there? Nah, I really don't. I did go HP also on the amulet here, so just adding a little bit of extra HP, 4k off the amulet does a good job. I went defense on the ring. Again, we went crit rate on the gauntlets. We went defense on the chest and uncommon artifact here to kind of offset the epics, and then we went speed on the boots. I think speed on the boots, defense on the chest are obvious choices here for this champion. And again, crit rate or HP percentage or defense percentage on the gauntlets. I'm a big fan, as you guys know. I have my Reliquary Tender and my Apothecary support champions. I have them in relentless sets because cycling their abilities and getting more heals off, reducing the cooldown of both the passive here because every 4 turns, this revive on death on fatal hits, preemptively, putting that revive on death there is going to be crucial to get that, refreshed every time you use it. And then again, getting that, the AoE heal and the AoE revival, kind of refreshing that cooldown and keeping it cycling. So I love having Relentless on these champions. And yeah, that's how we built her out, guys. Let's go ahead and try her out now. And let's start with Doom Tower, right? So I'm doing normal so I can have Archmage Helmet unlocked for you guys. So I'll go with the highest floor available to me right now. We have her and Scyl the Drakes, War Maiden, and Kale. That's all you really need because, the double revival, triple revival if you include the passive in the A3 of Godseeker Aniri, we're going to have no problem. It doesn't matter if anybody dies. We're going to preemptively drop the revive on death the first time. We have extra 10% heals. 10% healing bonus, coming out of the passive of Scyl of the Drakes. So extra healing going on, healing all over the place, revives all over the place. That's all you need. How strong of a combination is, these two champions on a team with 2 revivers? Heck, if I added like Reliquary Tender, how are you ever going to kill this team? Right now, we're only running 4 champions. And granted, we're on normal difficulty Doom Tower, not hard, but it is floor 89 or whatever. These are not easy champions, especially Magic Affinity going against Force for our main damage dealer in Kale. But still, it's going to be quick work. I'm going to go ahead and show you some Arena as well. I'm also going to show you, a Dragon Run or something, just to show you again, illustrate the synergy between these champions. Nice and easy here. I really, really like this champion. However, I will, and again, there it is, revive on death, boom, boom. I will articulate a point that I made in a previous video 2 days ago, and I kind of reiterated it yesterday on our shard opening video, is, Godseeker Aniri is a new sexy champion, right? Very, very cool. I do think she is unique enough to invest in, and I'm going to start doing this on all my guides. Who should invest in this champion? More so, and you can see more healage there, by the way, than Scyl the Drakes, right? And more damage than Scyl the Drakes, minus the CC that Scyl brings to the table. I'm not saying she's better. It's hard to compare these champions, but it's noteworthy here. And War Maiden also outdamaged Kale. Way to go, War Maiden, right? Actually, I think a lot of it was just the affinity matchup as well. But I want to start on all these champion guides talking about who should be upgrading these champions, because we talked about just because there's new great champions doesn't mean it makes sense to waste your resources on all of them, right? And there's a reason I started with Godseeker Aniri. I opened almost all of the new Void champions because she's my favorite. I think she's the most unique, who can help anybody in this game. I'm going to use the same team here in Dragon 20. This champion can help anybody in this game who's struggling with progression anywhere. You have the double revive, so to speak, in her kit. You have that AoE, and you can see how much damage it did there. Do we miss the first one? And you, look at the sword. We haven't even talked about aesthetics on this champion. The sword and the shield, so cool on this champion. She'll help you out. Anybody struggling in Faction Wars, she'll help you out there. She'll help you out in Doom Tower. She'll help you out almost everywhere. In Arena, she's really cool. You can build teams that don't always have to go first and use her as kind of a failsafe, because she will block that first, revive your first champion. And also she has that great revival skill, which is great against bosses. So Doom Tower bosses, any boss that you're struggling on, it's really nice that when a champion dies, you can pick them right back up and reduce the skills, reduce the cooldown of all skills. We haven't really talked about that part of the revival of this champion. That's unique and it's really, really cool. So I would put this champion, Godseeker Aniri, on the same level almost as Ursula, another Void Epic champion who was released the last batch. In terms of priorities between the two champions, I would probably go with Godseeker Aniri. I think that she is one of the coolest support champions they added, one of the most useful support champions they added. If you already have enough support, you say, Ash, dude, I don't need more, I have a great reviver. I've already invested in 1 or 2 revivers. I'm good there. Should I still max out this champion? Should I still invest in this champion? The answer would be, can you find utility for her in Arena, right? Because even me, on this account, I think she'd be interesting to kind of theory craft a tag team arena team around her. Granted, this is a pretty niche reason to upgrade a champion, but I have a lot of already good champions on my account. I think that even if, so I maxed out these champions just to do guides on them, right? I mean, let's be real here. However, this champion might be a little bit different for me. I think that if I pulled her and I wasn't creating content on YouTube, I wasn't creating champion guides on YouTube, I still think she's worthwhile, even for me, someone who has a lot of champions, someone who's paid, let's be real, a lot of money on this game. Obviously, if I was free to play, it'd be 100%, no doubt, max her out, easy decision, right? On my free to play account, she would be a huge game changer. Even on this account though, I think she's really cool to use because of that revival, right? So against these Doom Tower bosses on hard that are very challenging, I think that, neutral affinity, and she's going to be able to revive, champions. I don't have Septimus, but if I did, it'd be so cool to go into, let's just say Royal Guard, go into another takedown if he dies immediately because it's refreshed upon his revival. I think that's really, really cool. And I do think that preempting the first death of a champion will have interesting synergy on a defensive arena team. On offensive arena teams, like if you don't go first, you're usually all wiping and all dead anyway. But on a defensive arena team, I think it's an extra kind of middle finger to the opponent, when you finally kill that whoever, that Razin or whatever, right? And then it's just like, yep, by the way, he's back alive with 50% HP, or not 50%, my bad. He's revive on death, right? And then he's back alive with a refresh on all his cooldowns. So guys, I hope you like this guide on Godseeker Aniri paired with Scyl of the Drakes. They're definitely a dynamic duo, and you can see here again, Scyl of the Drakes, I should tell you guys, does have crit rate on her gauntlets as well. So you can see damage. She's out damaging Scyl of the Drakes, which isn't saying a ton, but it's noteworthy here. Even at, 194% crit damage with no other, crit rate with no other prioritization on crit damage, she's still putting out a decent amount of damage overall. So I have to say I'm very impressed with Godseeker Aniri. I hope you guys have enjoyed this guide. Let's check out this helmet real quick. Speed, let's sell it. Guys, that's gonna do it. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys.